What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. I want to thank my sponsor, Steel Supplements. Link in discount code down in the description. Also, I'm a Webull preferred influencer. Use that link, deposit just $5 or more. They will guarantee you $11 worth of stock for free. You can probably hear a smile in my voice because, man, what a glorious video this is going to be. I want to thank Sim Gaming Network for bringing this to the community's attention. I also want to thank people in our community that blindly follow this game rather than support the people in our community and tell you, hey, don't worry, EA's aware of this. It's a bug. It's a glitch. It's going to be okay. Let me tell you something, EA. Get your lies in order. Get a memo out with all your lies. Make sure everyone follows them to a T, and you won't have any of these problems. Clint Oldenburg, I'm sure you're shocked that I'm showing your Twitter. Let me let you in on an industry secret, Clint. If I log out of my Twitter, I can see your tweets. I know you don't think that's possible, but it is. This is him sharing the NFL experience. Understand that. A unique NFL experience. Game day atmosphere. Momentum. Next-gen stats in terms of broadcast packages. This is them showing you, hey, we're taking NFL data, we're making the most realistic game possible. This whole concept is what I want you to understand. It actually carries itself over into the game. They actually use the text here for your penalty sliders at the base. Frequency at normal setting is based on NFL data, so we can't argue this, right? There's no one in the community that can go against NFL data. It's supposed to be in the game. This is them telling you what is going to be there. I've had to use them a couple times already this week, but I just want to bring him in, not really one more time, but Maury, what did you determine? Maury has determined this is a lie. Now listen, don't blame me, blame Maury. He's the one after this, right? It's not me anymore. It's not my opinion. I want to talk about where Maury got his information to determine this gameplay improvement is in fact a lie, and it's right from EA. It's EA Blueberry, my boy, constantly over there working against the team by letting us know the reality of the situation. Let's take a look at this thread on EA's actual website, soon to be deleted. This is talking about penalties not appearing in franchise mode, not appearing at the rate, the consistency, the slider not working. We've all talked about this for years, but this is something that was new to me and how he approaches it, more so knowing that, as I just showed you, they're telling us in-game NFL data is being used. So he says here, I've seen these requests over the past few years and I've raised it up to the team. From his opinion, it's a combination of not enough requests from the community to implement it, likely factoring into the game design more. So basically, not enough people are complaining. My response to this initially is, why would people be complaining when you're telling us NFL data is being used? We can't push back against that. You're the one setting the standard of, we're using NFL data, we're using Amazon Web Services. Who are we to question this isn't happening enough when you're setting the standard of using the NFL's data to make it accurate? They go on to say, if we get a bunch of players that request this, it definitely helps us strengthen the idea, make it a priority. But right now, I don't see it a high priority compared to a lot of other features requested on these forums and elsewhere on the internet. Going back to my original point, people aren't going to complain about something unless they know it's broke. EA is obviously out here touting that they're using data that they're not, so it's not going to make it a priority to a lot of people until people like Sim Gaming Network, myself, other creators start to talk about this. Now, this is where it gets really insane to me. He says that he understands the perspective of maxing it out to simulate the penalties you would see in a professional game, but he's not sure how that would work adjusting the code, and that a very small fraction of the community would actually do this. I don't know where they get that data from, right? If they're rebuilding franchise mode, we want the most realistic experience possible, and they know this. So for him to double back on that and say, listen, I think a small fraction of the community would want realistic numbers in their penalties doesn't make a lot of sense to him. It goes upstream with what they're doing. So offensive pass interference is in the game, but it has a certain set of conditions needed to activate it. Penalties like holding and pass interference are rarely called, which is by game design. So you can't have this. You can't do this. This is, for all the people that sit there and tout, false advertising, false advertising. Yeah, this is it. This is proof positive. He is literally telling you, hey, these penalties are rarely called by design. The game is telling you it's actually by the NFL numbers. And in reality, we all know watching the game, these numbers come down to referees in the game and how they actually attribute what they're going to call being a penalty. We just had this happen in the Colts game with a taunting penalty. That was very, very much not a taunting penalty by prior game standards. The fact that EA isn't even to that point where you have, fair to strict to easy guidance of referees that, listen, guys, they're not even in the game, says a lot. Maximum Football actually had a slider where you could have the referees be more lenient on things. But to get back to this, they're right now telling you, hey, what we're selling you is not only not in the game, but the way we put it in the game is not even the way it's implemented. He goes on to say from his experience playing the game over the years, it's extremely aggravating when these penalties come up after you've had a huge gain or under critical moments when caused by the AI. Basically, goes on to say that infamous word, if you think about it, causing those to come up far more often would actually mean you're scripting the game. A lot of players don't want that. They want to be able to control their own destiny. Listen, we don't want to be able to control our own destiny when it comes to penalties. No one can do that. If you're going by NFL data, there is no own destiny. Secondarily, as someone who knows the game of football very well, I'm shocked that someone would say this because, to be fair, a lot of times those huge gains are brought on by holding penalties, are brought on by pass interference from the offense pushing off. When you talk about critical game moments, those are when it's even more imperative that you don't have mistakes that cost you a game. These are real aspects of football that EA is essentially sitting here and just saying to you, we don't care. And for a company to actually say they feel that that's game scripting when there's a lot of people that will actually argue there is scripting in this game to begin with is amazing. So there you have it. It doesn't get more black and white than this. I know some of you don't like to see these things brought to your attention, but here they are, directly lying to you about the way penalties are in this game, a slider that clearly does not work, a developer that is promoting all the NFL data being used in integral parts of a broadcast, and then someone on the EA team basically saying to you, we're not taking this as a high priority because not enough people are thinking about it or talking about it, probably taking our words at face value. And oh, by the way, we actually don't even have it in the game correctly. So if you think that that was going to happen to begin with, you are wrong. At the end of this, he basically says this community is extremely vocal, shouldn't be hard to see if people get frustrated, and he would pass it along to the team if we do. I would argue today is the day to do that. Today is the day that we talk about this and let EA know. When you're using NFL data, then use NFL data. Do not lie to our face like this. Because when you lie to our face about this, what else are you lying about? Why do I have to watch somebody stream for 5 hours and spend over $1,000 just trying to get one card that they want out of Ultimate Team? Right? There's a lot of things that worry me when they talk about manipulating things this way. And not only that, manipulating a gamer this way into thinking that things are the way that they are when they know, in fact, that they're not. Love to know your guys' thoughts on this. Appreciate you checking it out. I've got a video tonight I would not recommend you watch if you love this game. I will be back in the week with more commentary.